going on, you guys? You are now tuned into another episode at 10 Toes Down. I'm your host, Goddess Kia. And to the right of me, I have a lovely guest.
What's up, y'all? Inphamus Amadeuz. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Y'all know what it is, your boy King House.
Voice of the hood. That's the voice of the hood. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he's starting.
And your brother Shaka L. Bay in the building, the voice of reason. How about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a lot going on, man. We appreciate you pulling up, man.
Of course, man. He called me, make it work.
Yeah, I seen him downstairs. He said, I didn't know you was here. I'm like, yeah. There's a small.
Well, I know him for a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
at this point, we owe him, all right? He's a busy guy. We put it on the record, all right? When he called, we come running.
Yeah. That's one thing we appreciate about you, man. You always a man of your word. When you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do something. Right. And you handle your business, and that's rare in the industry that we in 2025. Man. So we're gonna start with how important is it to you individually just to always keep your word, and no matter what.
I mean, that's probably the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Like certain people get into this content, let's just call it content creation space, because everything is content creation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Some people do it for fame.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do it for money. Me, I did it to feed my family. The fame and all that just came with it by doing things the right way. You know what I'm saying? I learned through this journey that one of the most addictive drugs is attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have people that we all personally know right now, people that you see, people watching this on social media, they suffer from that attention. It's like sometimes people don't feel like they're successful unless the audience is publicly giving you gratification.
That's
you know what I'm saying? For me personally, it was never about that. I was trying to change my situation. That's just really all it was.
You had a different mindset.
I had a different mindset, and I've been an artist my whole life, so that's why you see me interact with so many artists, because I understand what it is to be them.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really, but yeah, integrity is more important than all of this. That's what we was having a conversation before we started about longevity. You have longevity. People like Jadakiss, W Fresh, Rakim, you get that because you keep your integrity in order. When you start cashing out for money and attention, you're gonna crash out. You got a short lifespan.
And people all the time, they in the industry, they take note of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you do certain things and it's not with the right principles, people take note of that. You might get one less job, one less call.
Are you guys saying as an artist, someone who's just new, right? Whether you're 16, 17, this is something that should be in their mind moving forward.
100%.
As far as you got your art.
Yeah. 100%.
But if you want to go longevity, this is something you should think about.
What good does it do you being the most important person in a room full of unimportant people? When you struggle, when you chasing this attention drug, you just and not to call everybody's important in their own right, but for your goal, these are people that can't help you strive. These are people that are gonna take from you. They're not giving to you. Someone like me, I'm laughing at you and I'm looking at you a different way when I see you moving in a certain way. He's one of them ones.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow, that's very interesting.
I call it the KOTRS, the King of the Roaches syndrome.
It's horrible.
Some niggas want to be king of the roaches.
And then we in this social media age where social media has made people antisocial. So you could be whoever you want like this, but you don't know how to be yourself in front of
real
many
life.
artists I've seen, multi-platinum artists that I've had at the radio with me, that they have no personality. They're quiet. They can't even have a conversation with you. Like, yo, bro, you alright? You want water? You need some Henny? Like, what you need? Like, and they can't even have a conversation.
Social media, but you're not social.
Yeah, social media has made people antisocial. Our younger generation, our kids right now, they're antisocial as fuck.
Facts.
My kid don't leave the room.
This is, we had that conversation that now there's people having therapy about leaving their phones. I had a conversation with an artist, very seasoned artist, a few days ago, and he said his leg shakes when he don't have his phone.
Right. It's like
It's the new drug.
He's so used to having it that when he don't have it, he can still
His leg shake.
You don't feel right.
That's what he said to me.
That's the dopamine.
He can still feel it like it's vibrating. It's sort of like subconsciously. You know?
It's because people don't know how to use this. This is a tool.
That's
all it is. And it's a tool that you use to your advantage so you can communicate with different people without actually being with that person. It's the same thing like back in the days we had phone booths and hotlines and all that. It's the same thing. But some people get addicted because they're scrolling. And then back to the point that she was making, you're trying to see if you're successful, so you post a picture and you're looking to see how many people like the picture, how many people like this, how many people interact with your thing, and then you feel like you're not successful, so you're chasing the attention drug over and over again.
That's exactly it.
I'm glad I ain't broke this time.
I'm so grateful. I'm beyond grateful because it's to the point where we've become addicted, like you said, and I feel kind of sorry for the generation,
the kids,
millennials. That's what they call it, the millennials.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about your history because it's just fascinating. Sometimes you think you know somebody, but you don't know somebody. For instance, I seen Denzel Washington highly successful. I'm watching a movie one day and I see young Denzel, like he like 10 years old, 11 years old, and you never really think. We think when we see them at their highest peak that it just came out the blue. People get successful most of the time with the longevity. So I was looking at your portfolio and I'm like, okay, we knew he was an artist, but we didn't know these other different roles that you play, right? Obviously, we know you do the radio personality, but then you also was the videographer. Then you also was actually booking artists to go on the show, but then you even was booking some of the young ladies to be featured in the video. Did all of this organically happen, or was this like strategic?
No, this was a chess play all the way through. Cause I had a moment where I was like on the run for a while, and I had met my wife and ended up beating my case. And basically, my wife gave me an ultimatum. You know, my wife is Miss Get Adams. She's now my co-host, and she's reaping the benefits of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? She basically gave me an ultimatum. She's like, yo, listen, I can't have a motherfucker selling crack in my house. So you either gonna go do that, or you're gonna leave it alone, and we'll figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
And that's literally what we did. We literally figured it out. It took a while. The first was like the hit to my ego as far as being a rapper, because that's your dream when you're growing up. You want to be this famous rapper. So that was the first hit. Then I had to figure out, okay, how am I gonna do this? Because I didn't grow up with anybody from my block that made it. I just literally found out now that Kid Capri's from my block. Shout out to Kid Capri. We on a record with Diamond D. Got a record called My DJ Spits Better Than You. It's me, Kid Capri, and Doo-Wop. And he added me to the record. And through the record, that's how I found out he was from my hood. But nobody from my block ever really made it.
Marble Hill?
Nobody from Marble Hill ever made it. And Kid Capri from up the block, he's from Sedgwick. So I was like, all right, well, my wife was like, you know what, we can get in because sex will always sell. So let's start with a modeling agency. So we grabbed the 4 baddest chicks that we had around us. We dressed them up and we started hitting the clubs. And then from there, this is a director who did a lot of videos like in the 2010s, Mills Miller. He had shot this video with Jadakiss and Imani. He was my boy. I brought the girls, and then from there I started recruiting, and that was kind of like the starting, and then it went from that to like us casting like 50 Cent. We did the 50 Cent and Kendrick Lamar video. We did, matter of fact, the 50 Cent and Too Short video. Jesus, Kanye and 2 Chainz birthday song. I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot, and every underground hip hop video you could think of. There is a video by the Locks called The Summer's Too Hot. It was the first release by the Locks as a group. And if you watch that video, which I encourage you, I'm in the video as well. If you watch that video, every female in that video was from our agency. So Summer's Too Hot by the Locks, produced by Scram Jones.
That's chess.
Watch that video. And that's kind of like how I met everybody. I started rubbing elbows with artists. I was always into filming and editing. So
no school for that.
No, this is self-taught. This is mud work. When you grow up in this actually social era, you learn how to do all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So so then from there I got an opportunity to edit with Street Heat TV. The first video I edited was Another Day, Another Dollar. Jada Kiss and Snipe Life, and then from there I was editing a bunch of videos. And then when I met Papoose, that's when I got my first director's credit. And then it just
went off from there.
It kind of.
The first video I seen you direct, not to cut yours off, that I know was you or whatever, was I think it was Prodigy, and was it Nutso?
Yeah, that was Prodigy's. That's when I stopped shooting, because that was my trophy that I took with me. That was at that point I felt like in the film space I had nothing else to accomplish. That was Prodigy's last music video before he died. It's called "Don't Touch My Ground." It's my crown. He died like 2 months after that.
Rest in
You know what I'm
peace.
saying? But I got opportunity to work with Fetty Wap. I've shot project. I mean, I've shot a lot of videos.
Right.
Like, I'm almost at 200 now.
I see.
My videos are far in between now because now I'm on the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when I first got to SiriusXM as a guest, because I was on National Geographic, I think people know that. So I was on Nat Geo, and that was through film because I was popping up on the video sets with the Nutcrackers. You know what I mean?
That.
So
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm reading the bio.
That's how I know.
Yeah, so there was this video, shout out to Amado.
That shit on Smash too,
Yeah,
man.
he owns this studio called IMI. He had a video of Mano and Waka Flocka. I don't remember the name of the video, but it was in a warehouse. And what I would do is in these video sets with the girls in the film, there's no liquor stores at 12 o'clock. I'm popping out with like 500 nutcrackers in the trunk of the car. And I'm selling out, but now I'm selling to celebrities and their friends. And then through that, National Geographic got wind.
Who's this nutcracker guy? Okay.
They got wind, and I had positioned myself online through search engine optimization that when you Google Nutcrackers New York, my Facebook page will come up first.
Right.
So everybody's watching right now, search engine optimization is the most important thing. Don't pay for blogs, don't pay for none of that.
SEO.
You need SEO, search engine optimization. So when National Geographic went and they looked up Nutcrackers New York, my page popped up first. They DM'd me. I thought they was bullshitting. I had the meeting with Laura Gamzee from World War Productions. She said we're gonna start filming tomorrow. I filmed 2 days. National Geographic is, I mean, we know people from everywhere. We know rappers, we know people have been on TV. You don't know one motherfucker from National Geographic.
No.
You don't know nobody.
No,
You can't
no
tell
underwater
nobody.
researcher.
No,
No archaeologist.
Yeah,
That's just
worldly. Like, this is like.
This is next level.
Yo, I remember I went on vacation to Mexico with my wife, and somebody stopped me in the hotel. You got the quarter waters. Like, they was in the corner. People don't know what a nutcracker is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Lord Sid from SiriusXM, he saw me on National Geographic. And he posted my picture on Instagram. He had a show called The Drunk Mix on Fridays, and people were calling on Fridays, yo, what you drinking, da da da. Yo, who the fuck is this guy? Because I look like y'all, I talk like y'all, it's New York, and that's how I got to SiriusXM. But to spin back to the original point, the reason why I got in though was because I had a background in film.
That was it.
You see what I'm saying? So yes, I went as a guest, but when Lord Sid got his own show, after Sway in the Morning, they brought me on as the film person. And then everything you see now, I learned along the way, because I didn't know how to do none of this shit. I didn't know how to interview, I didn't know how to do nothing. I didn't know how to DJ when I got there. I didn't
You
know
said
nothing.
you learned from
I learned in the strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? Word.
This is amazing.
see, and
Life is the school.
what I
It's
need
full on
everybody to understand is that you got to go out there and push yourself.
Hustle, man.
You got to go out there, see it in your mind, and make it materialize. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that this brother is telling us and telling you is not far from anything that you could do if you want to do that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So you're hearing a champion story.
A rags to riches
You
story.
know what I'm saying? A rags to riches champion story here. You know what I'm saying? And he's nowhere near finished yet, y'all.
I'm just
Just
getting
getting
started.
started. I gotta let them ask questions, but I got this question I gotta ask. So we in 2025, and you had that history. Do you feel like the people of today have it much easier than you did, or vice versa?
Honestly, I think they got it harder because you see more people on a day-to-day basis. So I was still operating in a space where it was like early Facebook, late MySpace, where it's still kind of word of mouth. there's still like a word of mouth aspect.
Right.
Now an artist can go and post a flyer and make a situation look like something that it's not. Like you can manipulate more now because again everybody's on the zombie mode. You know what I mean?
They made it so easy.
I'm not saying that I had one is easier than the other, but I do think that artists now have a slight disadvantage when you actually have talent to break through, because the pot is just way more wider. It's way more wider. So there's way more crabs in the barrel now.
Easy access.
Whereas before, if there was 100 people in the barrel, you could recognize the talent and grab it. Now you gotta second guess yourself 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, you don't know because it looked like
It's
glitter.
wild.
That's a very interesting optic to look through.
It's
That's
wild.
very interesting. Yeah.
It's you being from the Bronx, right? I mean, I'm a Bronx guy also. You from the West Side, I'm from the South Bronx. You understand the Bronx dynamics all the way through. When you see yourself now, right, and knowing everything that you've been through, all the struggles, or the heartache, everything or whatever, and then now you see yourself in a position where it's like you haven't even reached your peak yet, or whatever. You just going through your stride or whatever. When you see other kids, black or brown kids, that come from the same environment and deal with the same stuff or whatever that you dealt with, you had to push through or whatever. What do you tell them? The ones that like 18-year-old inf that's doing the same thing.
That actually happened to me. I think Friday. So I just randomly went back to the block. The block looked crazy. It's like it looked crazy. Like they had like garbage bins, scaffolding, and it looked like I was going to Rikers Island. I saw this kid walk by. When I saw him, I'm like, yo, this is me. So I stopped him. I asked what his name was, and like if he lived there, or whatever. And I told him, like, the point that you're at right now is not your final stop. Your final stop is ultimately on you. This is just a point in the whole trajectory. Now, where you're gonna go is up to you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time it takes self-discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because we come from very, especially like in New York, in the hood, I think hoods everywhere, we come from very like programmed, robotic backgrounds where it's like, get through high school, get a GED. When you're done, you don't like school, go to a trade school, work for the man for the rest of your life.
Facts.
Program to the core.
You need someone to come in and say, yo, fuck all that. Go to college, get a bachelor's degree. And you know what, if you can't get a master's, because you don't got to pay nothing up front.
Right.
Now you're going to step out into the world. I wish, if I could do one thing different, I would have went to college.
I was going to ask you that.
It's a different experience.
I probably would make triple what I make right now had I had like a bachelor's or a master's degree.
Why do you say that? Because of the information as far as the business structures or
because it's the way people perceive it. It's like social media, but it's just a piece of paper. I'm coming. Oh yeah, I got a master's degree in radio technology. Oh, what do you want, sir? This piece of paper makes me more qualified.
Amadeuz.
If Paramount Pictures was hiring right now, he could be the most elite cameraman. He got 40 years of cameraman experience. And if I come with a paper that says, oh yeah, I went to school for 6 years, I'm gonna get the salary that he should get. And meanwhile, he's gonna be on the rig or breaking down the set.
That's how it shakes
So
out.
that at least I wish I would have done that.
Amadeuz. Let me tell you something. You're an intelligent person. You hear me?
And not to mention the connections you make in college, because you're basically
networking
with potential successful
Of
people.
course.
You know what I'm saying? So you can get into that same position that you talked about. He finds out or she finds out that y'all went to the same school or even a neighboring college.
Yup.
Oh, come on in.
Yep, they got it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's networking.
You got 40 years.
It's networking, and it's a
wild.
brotherhood.
It's wild. That I try to tell all the kids that. Any teenager that I could get 2 minutes of their time, go to college. Your mom and dad don't have to finance that.
Right.
You can go to college, you can take the loans, you're gonna make the bag. if you're watching this right now, you come with a master's degree, you can fuck any chick you want, you can live anywhere you want. If you come in New York City with a master's degree, you're gonna be an adult way longer than you're gonna be a child.
Facts.
Y'all rushing to be adults. You step outside 25 years old with a master's degree. You live in 34th Street, you grabbing any shorty you want, you drink anybody.
And you can convert that into entrepreneurship.
You can do whatever you
They
want.
will listen to you. If you want to be a life coach, if you want to be an engineer, whatever, you can literally, it's crazy.
And I feel like there's a difference, right? Like, when me and you was growing up, the options might not have been the same for me, but compared to them, there's so much different things. Like now, you got more kids. Like our era is you got play ball, rap era. Now it's like you got kids that's
more options.
Way more options. They try to do so many different things now.
Yeah. You also got to pay attention to the signs. So like when I was younger, my aunt, my grandmother's sister, and her husband used to take me every year to Maryland, and they would commute me. Like I grew up in a crack house, both mom and pop. So my situation is, I come from that shit, right? I come from that shit. Like this is where I come from. I come from that shit. So they used to, they were doing well. They would commute me every summer to Maryland, and I'm glad that I got the chance to tell them this because that little bit of things that I did is a lot of what you see now, but it's all about how you interpret the information. Oh wait, there's more than Marble Hill projects. I went on a plane, I drove, we went in Amtrak. They got a house, they got a pool, they had this little like cleaning thing called Waldo. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Wait, you can live here, and they're from Harlem.
Yes.
It's attainable.
My mother's side of the family really from Harlem. They're from like 141st and like 7th.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can do whatever you want.
It's all about how you interpret information.
How you interpret information.
So key because that goes into mental mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very, very key. You can be in a chaotic situation, but one person may expose you to something different, and then that's your life force.
That's a fact.
All right, wow, there's something out there better. Even if you don't get to go to Maryland, but you get to go to some program that you know your moms and pops wasn't really capable of bringing you because they weren't doing well at the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's really good that you opened up and just explained where you come from in your background, because it wasn't peaches and cream, and it's just
I come
learning
from
a lesson.
that shit. I come from the 1%.
The 1%.
A lot of people don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like they look at me the way I talk, how I move. They don't really understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The whole, like it's not meant for someone like me. You know what I'm saying? This. I'm in that. The same shit y'all face.
Right.
Yeah.
I face that. I didn't grow up with Puerto Ricans. I grew up with black people in the projects.
Right.
I eat collard greens to this day on Thanksgiving.
Right.
The same thing that y'all face, I was next door. Same shit. We the 1%. And let me tell you, when that crack shit hit in the 80s, that shit was real. You had to be there.
Our families.
That was a whole different time.
Every person in New York, most people in New York suffer tremendously.
That was a different time. That shit was a different time.
Now let me ask you this question, right? Like, so you just explaining that and coming from that, man, and then you getting into DJing, and you said yourself you didn't even grow up DJing. You had it on the fly. So you come from that situation, and then it's a two-part question. How did you end up doing the Madison Square Garden gig, and what was the feeling when you asked the day of, when you actually was in the mix and you actually doing it?
Well, the garden was probably the greatest day of my life, besides the day I was born, the day I got married, and the day I had my first kid.
Okay, so that's 4. Okay,
It's up there. It's up there.
It's there because it's the garden.
Right.
You know, it's the garden. When I did the garden, I purposely took the train that day. When the Knicks booked me to DJ that day, I literally got on the same train I grew up on, and I rode the one train down to the garden. I had to get off the train on the one and go through that.
To feel that pavement.
And in a weird way, I felt like I was by myself when the music came on. I can't explain it. It sold out, like 20,000 people in there, but I literally kind of felt like I was by myself. And I just did my thing. You know what I'm saying? But people listen to me on the radio, come back to the DJing thing. So what I did was I tried to figure out who actually is listening to the radio, right? And that's the mistake that you see DJs doing right now. So all the DJs watching right now, you need to figure out who's listening to the radio. A lot of DJs come with a club program that they're playing for younger people to a radio audience. We don't know not one teenager or one 20-year-old person that turns on the radio right now.
Facts.
They are playlisting. So why are you going to the radio playing music for 18-year-olds? That's why they switched the station. People that own cars in America, they're between the ages of 43 and 55. That is your audience as a radio. This was the mistake that I made when I first started DJing, because again, I was DJing the strip clubs. I took the whole Pop Smoke, Lil Uzi Vert vibe, and then I realized that they wasn't listening. So who's actually listening to me? And then I switched my program to 90s and 2000s. Because now I'm playing music for the audience that's directly listening to me. And that's when that whole shit took off. That's when you see the Punch On Academy. That's when you see everything happening right now. Because I just identify my audience and I talk directly to them. I was giving my audience, before I got the Punch On Academy show, I was on Thursdays at noon, and I was on Thursdays at 3. And I would give them a straight hour listen of just nothing but the classic hip hop and R&B shit. That's it.
You mean consultations?
I mean, yeah. Talk to me, get out of me.
Consultations for business, because you definitely
We can make it
you
work.
know demographics, you know about demographics, you know the target audiences, you
Let me
know
tell you,
this.
I had a conversation with a DJ. I'm not gonna say who it is. He's on FM radio right now. I asked him, who do you think is the #1 DJ in New York right now? He was like, yo, this guy, that guy. I'm like, you know who's the #1 DJ in New York right now? DJ Red Alert. Go look it up yourself. Go look it up yourself. Anyone watching right now? There's something called the people percentage meter. Pay attention. There's something called the people percentage meter. It's the amount of people that turn on the frequency of a radio station for at least 5 minutes. You'll be surprised where the 2 or 3 top urban stations are in the market. They're not even in the top 15. Go look right now. Go to Nielsen SoundScan. You know who's #1 or like #3 right now? WBLS. 107.5. DJ Red Alert, DJ Scratch, those people. Why? Because they play a program that's directly for the audience that's listening to them.
Steve Harvey and them in the morning.
Killing it.
You know what I'm saying? And he's been on for 100 years. You know what I'm saying? Because
So
his audience is going to work.
It's the audience.
They're going to work. Those are the people,
The working audience.
the working class people. And they're directly connected to them, to that personality. Or that station, let's just say. Because they know when they turn it on, they're going to hear something that they want to hear.
Correct.
Who is they? He represents that. Who owns the cars?
Who owns cars in America?
That 40 to 50, 42 to 50,
43 to 55.
55, that area. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the people, those are the career people. Those are the people on the trains. Those are the people on the bus. Those are the people walking around downtown corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Again, and they sitting in rush hour.
Listening to them.
Listening.
All in the morning.
So those people are going to get older, and they're going to ascend and go back to their maker. What happens to the generation coming right up after them, and how do you gauge that demographics with radio? Because once they're gone, then you got this demographic coming up that's not really into the radio.
Yeah.
What are the analytics for that?
To be honest, I'm not sure. So I don't want to tell you something that I'm not sure of. What I will tell you is that hip hop is super unbalanced right now, right? And we all are kind of sick of what we hear, because when the root of the tree is sick, the whole game is sick.
The root of the tree.
And again, I have the privilege of being on a national radio station, so I see the whole entire country, right? When I go to LA and I hear a new LA artist, it could be a boom bap artist, it could be a funk artist, it could be an artist like Rowdy Rich. They still have the core principles of LA music culture, funk, the George Clinton shit, all that. When I hear an artist like, let's say, Young Miami, you know what I think of? 2 Live Crew. You still got it. When I hear, Atlanta artists, I still think of the trap boy music. What's up, boy? Oh my God. I still think of the trap era and all that.
Right.
People like Outkast were still trying to be like New York. We could go outside right now,
Okay.
walk down the block on 131st Street, and not hear one sound that's reminiscent to traditional New York hip hop.
None.
Yeah.
We got.
And that's the problem. There's an unbalance. But that was done by design, though. That's the way
They
wanted
had
it.
to break. They had to put a gap there because this would have put the right
They dumped it
information
down.
into this.
They dumped it down. My nephew wanted to record me. Like, you know, my shit is straight boom back. My nephew's like, yo, Unc, I want you to do a record with me. So I gave him like a DJ Mustard type of sound. And as he's talking, I'm like, yo, bro, why are you slurring? Yo, that's my swag. Like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, would you come to me? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's weird now. Like,
So being that you got the opportunity to see the world from, you know, a really large scope, do you see it transitioning? Because I feel like you and just a few people is like the only hope to keep the essence of the actual real hip hop alive, to keep it alive, to keep the spark going. Do you think that it will have that balance later on? Or you feel like, listen, it's way off the axis and we just gonna go with it and now we're gonna be having fake AIs and it's just gonna be crazy?
At this point, I don't think so. At this point, I don't think they'll ever be like that. Because all the guys that's creating the music that we like, they're all like 35 and up. You know, I don't see any younger people doing that. Like, I was super excited when I saw Joey Badass first come out.
Okay.
Because when I heard that shit, Hard Knock, I'm like, oh, you know.
Right.
This
Jim Jones is still going on. And
but he's still dancing
right
in a lane where
he's
he's trying to interact with younger people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't hear that classic sound. People listen to people for certain reasons.
Right.
Right?
That's a fact.
We grew up in a day and age where we were taught you gotta have track 1's the intro, track 2's the skit, track 3's the party record, track 4's the hard record. You can't do that anymore. You listen to people for certain reasons. You right now follow a certain person because he has like a cooking Instagram. Right. If this motherfucker gonna decide to start doing mechanic shit, you're gonna unfollow him. That's what this game is right now. People follow people for certain reasons. People follow me because they want to hear 90s hip hop. They want to hear the new artists that can rap. They want to hear the stories of Tretch and these guys. I had Young Blue on the show. He's a mega star. I think the video did like 129 views.
Right.
Because people don't follow me for that. I had 41 on this show. 41 is the biggest drill hip hop group right now. It must have did like 200 views. But then I post Tretch. 3 days ago, he got 20K. Onyx got 500,000. Again, people follow people for certain reasons.
Right. Oh man, this is some good information. I mean, I feel like even like with Scarlett, you know, you have a certain little seasoned artists that still keeping the essence and they're young, very young. The girl code, very young, but still keeping that going. So I'ma just keep the faith.
I'm gonna be all the way real, right?
Lola Brooks,
Shout out to Lola Brooks.
Like with this is a two-part question. Like first with the females in New York, right?
Oh boy.
I felt like 2 years ago you had like it was just like between Lola and the Billy B's of the world and the people, it was like bunch in that lane or whatever. I feel like there was a lot of dope shit going on. Even Steph G, she had a couple of dope records. But it seemed like 2025, so like New York female artists, it don't got that same
feel.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, maybe because a lot of them signed the major label
Like
now,
that,
so
like that Foxy Brown shit.
yeah, so now it's kind of like they making the same type of music
That's what
that everybody else is making now. It was like, come on, man.
Well, I also think they chasing the wrong things. So you just named Lola Brooke, you just named Billy B, and you just named Steph G, and none of them been on the Punch On Academy. So you're not talking to your core audience. You're comfortable going on the radar because you're rapping in front of a nigga that can't rap. You'd be surprised how many people come to Punch On Academy and don't rap. Shout out to Edie, from the Outlaws. He was the first person that told me that. Cause I was like, yo, bro, why I don't rap? It's like, God, you're a rapper. They gotta really think about what they're gonna say. But again, you gotta, that conversation is you gotta go to the platforms that identify with that.
So your definition of a rapper is somebody that can. What is the rules as to being a rapper? You know, because some people they say I'm a rapper.
You gotta be able to actually fucking rap.
Meaning, off the dome.
Nah, you gotta be able to formulate a 16-bar verse that in chronological order makes sense.
That's that's what a rapper is.
Something that is going to trigger some thought.
Exactly. You don't have to
the
be.
listener.
You don't have to be Big L with triple entendres or cannabis with intergalactic bars, but you gotta have a rhyme pattern that makes sense. You can't be melodic. You know what I'm saying? The melodic shit. When I look at a young artist and this whole generation, I feel like younger artists are filling in for R&B space that they don't have. They don't have the perfect marriage between hip hop and R&B that we had. My daughter is 15 years old and she listens to 90s and 2000s R&B. We had that perfect marriage. These kids don't have that. So now they got auto-tune and they try to fill it in their own different way.
That's very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's
Because you think about R&B for this generation is kind of non-existent. You know what I'm saying? You have the melodic rappers. They are, like you said,
Drake fits in that category?
Well, he's one of one.
Yeah, he's an anomaly.
He's one of one. There is an R&B space. So you got like the Scissors, the Coco Jones. This is other guy, I forgot his name, but there's a few people in that space.
Right.
But the marriage is not there. Meaning that Coco Jones is not dropping the new record that got Drake on it and Fabulous.
Right.
It's not like that no more.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have that.
That's
and that fusion is what created it created a different kind of energy.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it created a different kind of energy, and that energy is really like non-existent.
It's not right now. Yeah.
So part two to that question, right? Let's take a trip upstate. Got the 38 Specials in the world, the West Side Guns, the Benny the Butchers, etc., etc. What are they doing right that artists from down here doing wrong?
They're talking to their audience directly. As simple as that.
very simple.
They're talking to those directly. But let's not also forget that they also still had a machine behind them at some point.
Yeah.
So let's not also forget that Westside still got signed to Shady Records, and without that, we're not even having this conversation as well.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also about being prepared.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to go, are you actually ready? And Westside Gun was ready. And they birthed this whole entire, I guess we would call like modern boom bap.
Right.
Where it's like a slower, lo-fi-ish, the drums are dirty, shit like that. But again, Paul Rosenberg and Eminem figured out who was their audience, and they spoke to those people directly.
Right.
Also remember, they were coming off the Slaughterhouse shit.
Facts.
People were thinking Slaughterhouse was going to be the best group ever. And then whatever happened between them happened. And then they found Westside Gun and then boom, catapulted through. What I do think is that artists are making the mistake of trying to mimic them. Just be yourself.
Right.
There's a lot of that going on.
So
And that wasn't like that back in the day when it
just
came
be,
to
you couldn't bite, you would have got robbed. Like it was, like it was wild.
They would have
You
ran up
said
on
you
you.
got robbed?
Yeah, you got robbed. Like
He's right.
it was, it's real. Like
Everybody sounded different. My beat didn't sound like
you gotta
Seen
sound
didn't
like
sound
yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You would have got step two. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Jay-Z
one
don't sound like Nas.
one thing that I want to express here is one of the most important things you can do. Know who you are
Facts.
and what you're doing,
That's the point.
and know who your audience is, and learn how to identify with them. You'll find the easiest path doing it that way than just trying to do it, you know, the what have you done for me lately tactic, you know, because you're gonna find yourself really in the whole confluence with a whole bunch of other people, and they're not going to be able to identify you from him, to her, and whoever. Y'all all going to be sounding the same, and there's not going to be any delineation between y'all. So know yourself and know your audience and learn how to identify with them.
We definitely got to.
That's one of the most valuable. That's one of the most valuable things you can get.
Artificial intelligence.
AI?
The best thing to happen in hip hop or the worst thing to happen?
I can't tell you yet.
Okay.
I mean, what is artificial intelligence exactly?
You are the artificial intelligence.
Well, artificial intelligence is just a social program they pushing on you. What is the difference between artificial intelligence and me being able to remove a background in Photoshop? The difference is that they're labeling it now artificial intelligence. So all artificial intelligence is a program that gets you used to hearing AI and all that other shit.
It took the human to make the AI.
I look at it like it's just another program. I mean, that's at least how I look at it. I don't know.
And it's always been a program. There's always been a program. From whatever. There's always been a program. They're just making it AI and making it this big thing so that you can feed your energy into it. And also to be comfortable with a lot of stuff. To not use your brain and your critical thinking too. Because now you got everything to upload, coding, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But you can use some of that to your advantage. Like ChatGPT, if you use a tool, it's a tool.
It's a tool to be used like every.
ChatGPT is better than Google.
Yeah, it's a well, there's no ChatGPT without Google. Because ChatGPT still pulls the information from Google.
All of it.
All of it, yeah, because it'll say searching Google
and YouTube
or whatever.
And Google is still the number of the top 2 search engines in the world.
Oh yeah,
right
YouTube
now.
is the thing.
There's top 2. So I have to say, okay, you ain't moved yet. You ain't moved yet. So I just want to go back to like what's next for Amadeuz, because you've done it all. You've done it all, and I know you're still climbing the charts. So what's next for you right now?
Well, right now, the people are going to see me pushing my production a lot.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't think people realize that I've been producing all these Punch On Academy freestyles that they've been seeing. I produce all of those shits is mine. Every freestyle, almost every, I would say 95% of the freestyles you see from my show is my production. So that's like kind of like what I'm rolling out right now. Almost attaching the face to the sound that you hear, and giving this nostalgic type of feel. I don't know when this episode is going to drop, but I do have. So there was an artist named Mom Thug.
Yeah.
He was with CNN. I just did his new album. The whole album I did that. I got a record with Edie. I mean, from the Outlaws and the Realists. I did that. There's a Busta Rhymes record coming somewhere soon. So yeah, I mean, just pay attention. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm just gonna be me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you receive it, you receive it. If you don't, stay the fuck out my way.
I'm the business lady, and so how important it is for artists to know the business side of your artistry. You know what I mean? Because I see you got Mrs. I Get 'Em.
Yeah.
Y'all work together as a team. So how important is the business, and how important is to have a team when you're doing this?
Well, it's the music business. So why are you in the music business without a business?
Right. Okay.
Why is it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You gotta have a business.
And then the most important thing is, and I've seen a lot of people say this shit, but I just want to say on the record, they all got it from me. I was the first person to say this. The music business is 90% business, 10% music. I've seen 100 people say this shit.
Right.
I was the first one. It's 90% business. The music is only 10% of the whole entire equation. You gotta have the business together.
You gotta know where to register your stuff. You gotta have your copyright. You gotta have your LLCs or C corporation. And having an assistant and a team won't hurt.
And you gotta empower the people around you if you can. Certain people will fall off, some people don't get it, but it's super important. Like when you get in position, that's what I did. When I got the Punch On Academy show, I empowered the media people around me. Some people crashed out, some people made it through.
Right.
It's ultimately up to you, because we all don't come from shit. So you don't know how people are gonna act once that power hits. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how people are gonna act. People might crash out. It could be the person that's sitting here that could be standing here right now that crash out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So for those who don't have access to that, tell them where they can find you at, where they want consultations or they want to do any type of.
You can hit Hans up. You need a consultation, just hit him up. You got it.
Listen.
Now look, follow me on social media at the Infamous Amadeuz. The website is theinfamousamadeuz.com, and as always, SiriusXM Shade 45 Wednesdays 9 p.m. EST, 6 o'clock on the West Coast. The Punch On Academy in the left lane, as we should be.